Don't use your valuable time standing at the copy machine. Instead, send your jobs to the print center. Here's how. To begin with, you're going to need to get to self-service. So you can either use the rocket at the bottom or press your F4 key to see all of your apps. And it's generally on the second screen. You're going to look for self-service and open that up. From self-service, you are going to look for the Canon Print Center Mac install. And when you select that, you're going to choose install. Now this has already been installed on this computer, that's why it says reinstall. While it's installing, you'll notice a few directions here. It'll say it installs the print driver, the Mac client, and a required certificate. So when you are done installing, you're going to notice a little extra piece up on your computer right up here at the top that is the Uniflow client that's been installed. That's part of this. Also, a huge thing to notice is this will require a restart after the install is finished. When you're done, it will say done and then it will say reinstall, so you can close out of self-service. And you're simply going to go up to File and Print. Now on this particular screen, no matter what application you're in, whether you are printing from Pages or LibreOffice or Chrome, whatever the case might be, when you get to this dialog box, and I'm actually going to change it because it may look like this as well, you want to change the printer up here to say Print Center Mac. If it says Follow Me Print, you want to change it to Print Center Mac. Please do not put any copies here. Really, the only thing you're going to change on this box, besides choosing the printer, is which pages you want. So in this example, I have a 2-page document, but if I take a glance over at the second page, it's really just a blank page. So I want to go back and tell it that I want to do from 1 to 1. Then when you go to print, wait just a second and a ticket will show up, a job ticket for printing out. The first thing you're going to do up in the upper right-hand corner is you are going to do how many copies that you want. One thing to notice that when you click in here, the 1 stays in place. So if I wanted 25 copies of this and I didn't erase the 1, I'm going to have 125 copies. So I want to make sure that I actually erase the 1 from there. In most cases, the delivery time you're going to leave. However, if you were super on the ball and were thinking about sending something that you needed 2 months from now, you can actually put that in here because the people doing the copies can sort by when these are needed. This is more like a time of day. Now, whatever you title the document, it's going to show up here. You can certainly change that if you want to, or leave it just the way it is. I'm going to kind of bypass this main job and this part right now because it's a little more complicated and something you would do a little high-end. So I'm going to explain a little bit later. If you have a lot of things that you're saving for a job, a lot of criteria as far as colors and back-to-back and 3-hole punch and all those kinds of things, you can actually save everything that you are doing underneath a job profile, and you can actually save that so another time when you come up and do a job, you can actually choose a profile from there. Again, it doesn't happen very often. You can choose here for your pages. So on your first page, you're going to look here, and if you need a different kind of paper to use, you can choose that. Again, most of us are going to choose normal. This is the size, and this is the color of the paper. Now, what's pretty cool about this is this is a multiple page document. You could have this first page be on blue paper, and then on the additional pages, you can go ahead and choose it on white paper. So that might be something where you want the cover to stand out, and so you have those changes in there. Duplex, simplex comes out means single-sided. Duplex means double-sided. So if you want double-sided, in most cases you're going to choose long edge, and that means you're just flipping the piece of paper over. So this is the long edge of the paper. In a few circumstances you may choose short edge in that you're going to turn the paper from top to bottom rather than turning it over left to right. Stapling and just choosing where you're going to staple. Again, the hole punching. Color printing, you can choose that if you're doing color print in here. I do want to remind you that color printing, a back-to-back color print page costs 9 cents per page, so keep that in mind. And then if you're making a booklet, you would choose from here as well. Collate. It's important to know the difference between collating and grouping, whether you're going to choose yes or no in there. So if you have a 3-page document and you want that to be, 1, 2, 3, and you're going to hand that out all as one packet to your class, you're going to choose collate and yes. But let's say again that you were super on the ball and you had a 3-page document and you were going to hand out the first page on Monday and the second page on Tuesday and the third page on Wednesday. You would choose no to the collate on here, and what it would do was print your 25 copies of page 1, and then it would print your 25 copies of page 2, and then your 25 copies of page 3. If you are going to do any glue binding or ring binding, you would choose from here, you would choose yes, and that again tells the people who are printing this they need to set it up a certain way. So it's being asked by our print center that you recap what you want here in the notes. That way they can assure that it's being set up correctly. Because we're all kind of new at this setup process, they want to double check before they waste paper by sending copies that were done incorrectly. So in this case, I could do 25 copies back to back is what I wanted and go from there. At that point, you would just click OK and submit job.